into the back door, and some white dude.
All right, what's popping? Yo, we gotta check the sound again to see if the sound is working. We gotta give it a second. We had the sound up a minute ago. It was all right. So they gave us this second broadcast. They do that because on YouTube it's kind of weird if you don't actually, uh, how does it say, do it like in advance, do it like a time frame in advance, and they be on payload. So I want to say what's up to y'all, man. Last time I did a broadcast, I didn't have surgery. I didn't have surgery last time. So my body is beat up and broke down because I had to do some hernia surgery type shit. And it was really rough. So it's the second week of me dealing with that. Well, the first week, today makes 7 days. So my body's still really twisted. You know what I'm saying? If you ever had surgery before in your life, you know. So I just want to get out here. Ain't no update, ain't no time frame that you can catch on. You just dive on if you caught up with this one. And don't do it if you didn't. But I wasn't holler about Katt because if you've been watching, you know Katt Willaims been fucking him up. He been killing him on his shit. He been going crazy. I'll put it set up another stream for later on. Now, I might not do that one later on. Let's just stick to this one. So anyway, he basically went 50 million deep on his station, on his shit. And a lot of stuff that Katt was saying was just so poignant. And it's like you see the backlash now. You see everybody having to deal with what he had to say. And a lot of these motherfuckers is just what he said, fake phonies and frauds, because now they got to speak up for what they did. And these niggas is taking the high road, being friendly, and they not responding with that same fervency. So they hoe ass niggas basically, because they could have just been 100 up front. And that really is like what 2024 is shaping up to be. If you're a bitch motherfucker, if you're a fake person, they calling you out. There's nobody letting you off the hook no more. And Katt did such a big job on it, on his grind. So we're gonna try to walk through some of this shit and talk about it. And we only got to put club inside YouTube now. So let me see if I can share this screen. And thank y'all for coming to the stream. Check it out when you see it. Now, last time I was doing this, I was getting glitched. It was glitches all day. It was like, oh my God. So if y'all pay attention to this pretty little channel right here, you'll see your boy right here. You see he got Katt Willaims just dropped one about 6 hours ago. I'm a fan, but I ain't a real fan of dude. He funny, but for the people he funny to. Katt Willaims on my speed. And as you can see from the numbers right there, 50 million views in what, 2 weeks? That's 25 million views a week. So he basically ripped them dudes a whole new motherfucking ass, man, for just being haters. And if you click it and go into it, a whole lot of dope shit that he was really referring to by clowning them and busting them out. And they comedians. So each one of those comedians have went in the studio and clowned somebody else or talked shit about them while they was on stage and just, you know, got in on the audience members or whatever they did. So it's just now you get down to the nitty gritty of Katt just unleashed.
The guy that's stopping by.
I'm fan base with that.
Like you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100 city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What?
And you can see Katt is animated and he went in. He basically gave these niggas a tongue lashing that they needed. Pause. But these boys been fakers and haters and shit like that, and that click. See, we didn't know that about them. Like, who knew that these niggas was a clique in comedy? Like, I didn't know who was a clique or who was out the clique. Like, you just didn't even know all this shit. So for people on the layman side, which is us, me, I didn't know all that shit. I just like these guys' comedy. And I like what they talk about, but I didn't know that these guys had cliques. And some guys was in. It's like high school. A bunch of goofy motherfuckers basically stopping the next nigga from coming up. Just like in high school, a bunch of lame niggas. They ain't even nobody even relevance. And here's the point. Right now is the time you're supposed to be going crazy. You're supposed to be saying, what the fuck you say about me, nigga? What the hell? But a lot of that shit's true. And these guys want to be religious now and shit and take the high road, but that's on them.
Encyclopedia said you think you one of the smartest people in the world.
Right.
Only it was just da 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 da. But now it has the complexities of the fact that I'm having to deliver this to an East Coast audience, a down South audience, a Midwest audience, a Utah audience, a Colorado audience. And so it begins to take on a different complexion because you're having to deliver it to different people.
Okay.
And so this is what sharpens your joke. You then take those sharpened jokes and make a special. Not you just randomly take some. So it's a process. You don't allow them to process if the first time the guy did the joke, now that's his joke and the joke is everywhere. That just sets it up for people to steal.
So how many times must you tell a joke before you master it?
How many times have you had to sleep with a woman before you're done with her? That's not fair. If it's great, never. If it ceases to have usefulness, so it has been spoken. Right.
I read that you was raised in Florida. You had some help, some ladies of the night.
No.
That's not true.
No, that whole
We
story
got
doesn't take place in
Katt in
Florida.
that last segment right there. He was talking about dudes stealing his joke. We got Cedric the Entertainer stealing his joke, and a lot of that joke been out here in the world. Let me see if I can find it real quick because that joke been out here now. They kind of figured out exactly where he stole the joke from, how he stole it, and it's like, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm mad at them for stealing the joke. I'm not gonna lie. But then in another way, I'm thinking like, would we have ever heard that joke again, or is that joke supposed to die because the guy never did it because he didn't do the joke? Like, how is that supposed to play out? Because if he didn't do it, then we would never know. We would never see nothing about that. And I think that it's important that he kind of said the joke, but I do think it's bogus that he stole it. So, you know, and then, but it's like, damn, could you imagine you've been working all these years to be a fucking artist and you fuck around and get caught with your thievery of your joke? And it's like, damn, who would have thunk that? I'm sure Cedric the Entertainer would have not have thunk that one. Like, damn, man, these motherfuckers found out because it's like, how the hell did they find out, boy? So let's see if I can find this other share screen. And we're going to go to this one. All right, let's see if we can get this video playing.
Says Cedric the Entertainer stole Katt Willaims' premises. Obvious similarity is how they are.
I wonder
However,
if I'm play it out.
Started off as parallel park.
Talk about it. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably have been doing that joke 6, 7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, you know, again, you're talented, brother. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. So, you know, that may be something that he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand if you feel, you know, slighted by that, but that's my joke. That's my joke, dog. Driving space shuttle to the moon, cigarette, cutie pie rocking in the background, parallel parking the space shuttle. It's my joke, dog. So that's where I believe it to be. So
There is no completely different.
So
Like
I don't know what side y'all take on that. But
truly stolen.
in reality, both of the jokes are similar, but they're too different to me. And I think that I don't know if Katt Willaims had the experience that he said he had. Yes, said he had an experience where he ran into Cedric Entertainer backstage one year. I think he said it was like '96 or some shit like that, and he saw him do the joke. And that from that he came backstage, Cedric Entertainer went backstage and told Katt Willaims that he liked the joke. So from that conversation, he actually went out there and started doing the joke. And so that's what made Katt Willaims crazy mad. Like, damn, you just told me you like it, and then how you doing it? Like, what the fuck? And apparently, he stole a joke from another comedian, Scruncho, which is like a, I guess the joke was something like you would be playing in a like breakdancing with gloves on, and he said he didn't like that because he was like, "Yo, that's my joke." But as we already know from history, our boy stole the joke. So it's so close, but it's not exactly the same to me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Katt Willaims just don't play certain shit, and I think that Katt Willaims deserves to get it off his chest because if these motherfuckers is playing crews and clicks and shit, then it is what it is. What the fuck? What's the problem? Y'all a click, be a click. The fuck out there. And I think that's the part that really showcased Katt Willaims bossiness. Like, okay, y'all a click, big deal. Let's see who can get that out loud. I'm gonna go up against all y'all. Whoever in the click on that end, let's just go up against each other. So let's see what else Katt got.
The story takes place in Oklahoma.
What was that feeling like? Did it like want to give up? Because we don't. I mean, because when you have, I mean, I don't know how early it was in your career. Obviously, it hadn't been in the. I don't think it's in the last decade because you've been immaculate.
If I'm being honest with you. And the Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker. Oh, not Smokey.
Epstein Island, Chris Tucker. Everybody forgot about him throwing a hit at Chris Tucker. You don't really hear a lot of people talk about that one. But Chris Tucker actually took a hit too because of what his little personal relationship with he was doing with Michael Jackson, and then you carry over to what Chris Tucker was doing with Epstein, and nobody's there to prove any of this stuff. But all these people had eventually had got bad names, and the money didn't matter. Like as rich as Michael Jackson got, he still left the planet with this bogus stigmatism of being a kid, no less than some people just not ever gonna let him go over for that. Rather, you know, those guys who he said who claimed he did it to them confessed, or they renege on their confession, you recant. So my point about it is that it's people who will never believe that Michael Jackson ever did that. So he didn't just die an old man; he died a molester with that stigmatism of molester. And so that's just the same thing that Katt Willaims is talking about right here.
If I didn't know no better, I'd tell you he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without
Nah,
Friday.
we talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision. At the time that this is happening, Katt Willaims is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed.
Right.
Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying, Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church. He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas. Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Me neither. Must be the greatest.
Man, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody back. I ain't gonna be able to get no more comedians.
They all come.
No, they ain't.
Are you kidding?
Nah.
Hey, I
Yeah.
Good
promise
thing
you.
I done got all the rest of them. I done got the ones.
I promise you, everybody trying to double back. You're gonna be having to beat them off with a stick. You won't let him. They're coming. Much as
You're on Def Comedy Jam, Comic View. What were those experiences like? What do you remember most about Def Comedy?
Hey, man, Chris Tucker became a weirdo, man, and that's just what actually happened. Epstein weirdo. All Chris Tucker just stopped being who we thought he was gonna be. He just changed up.
unlike anybody in the world. He was just an amazing individual. I was able to meet him when I was 12, and I knew him my entire life through all of his changes. I was able talking in the corner. I prefer to hear two ladies talking in the corner. I don't care what they're talking about. I just prefer that. So a lot of times I will utilize ladies to convey a message. If a comedian is doing a great job somewhere in the country, he just did a masterful set and nobody's gonna pay him. They just clapping. And I know he's broke as shit back there. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody just showed up and gave him a little blessing? And
That's another thing that made Katt Willaims a real dude, because he actually was helping people. And then when all this came out, everybody was able to jump out there and speak on his behalf. A lot of people won't do that. They'll let that shit go down. They'll still be phony when they feel like the world is coming against you, just like they did with Monique. It don't matter who she was cool or tight with at one point. The fakeness came out. Motherfuckers left her stranded on the side of the road like, oh man, I ain't got time for you. Go ahead on, you're a problem. You always get stressing people out. You made Ryan or Tony or Eddie mad. And it's like, what? I thought you was my crew. I thought you was down with me. So some people just so phony they can't help it. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no fight in them. They just weak. And they ain't gonna be that raw and hunt down with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's really sad that it's like that, but Katt Willaims was able to overcome that. And I think that was all the best part about him and seeing him as a creative and doing his thing. He was able to overcome a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he busting them people out today. Because they can't the fakeness, it unloaded. They just couldn't be real. And now you ain't gotta be real no more.
no, you don't get to. What's she listening to? You gotta be listening to Sexy Red. You broke. Toxic people are trying to get things. They're not being toxic for no reason. They're gaining something out of how they operate. That's why they operate like that, because they get something. As soon as you find that out, you'll be able to cut off what they're getting, and they will leave.
Yeah. That boy, one other thing he did is he dropped jewels. Like that right there is a jewel. Like toxic people be getting something from being toxic, even if it's just attention. So sometimes shutting motherfuckers down and not letting them have access to you, that is critical. And then as soon as they realize they can't get it no more, they move on. And you see them in the wind now. You see them in traffic, as we call it. So it's like that's deep right there what he said. Like toxic motherfuckers always come with bullshit. So it's a good way of speaking out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were married once.
Never.
You weren't married?
Never in life.
So would you have a cohabitation agreement?
Never. How? How could I be a single parent and be married?
You could, there are people that like were married and then they get divorced and then they become.
There's no cursive writing.
Right.
Sorry about that. So yeah, this is what period of time it's in. It's the period where the victims get to say, they've been hurting me for a long time. And I just ain't said nothing because I was trying to be strong and I didn't want to shame anybody. When our people call out for help, we got to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers.
Swear to God, if Tyler Perry ain't did nothing but wear dresses and be a female impersonator and teach young kids how to be cross-dressers. And everybody in his movies ain't not one of them motherfuckers major stars. The only star is still him. The nigga who wear the fucking dress. The female. The nigga who wear the dress. And it's like, look up to this nigga because he got $1 billion. $1 billion from the whitest supremacist people in the world. It's like, what the hell? And then his humanitarian movements is if he gives money to Walmart to get people shit off of layaway. And it's like, what? How is that helping the community? What if people don't have this shit inside Walmart? And it's like, well, I guess you like Dame Dash said, you ain't never talk about another man's money. So I agree. But the idea as far as being a news worthy information, that's how I got the information out, and I'm talking about in person. But it seems like they don't really have that backbone to build an infrastructure in the black community to give black people more than just the terrible outcome it's going to be all considerably be in our communities. And it's like we all got to do that one black person in line to try to succeed. So that's why calling the guys out that have gotten those checks from white people, we might all consider them to be successful. That's why kind of calling those niggas out is good because, yeah, you might be sitting on your high horse. You might be in a white neighborhood. You might even be the fucking mayor of one of those towns. But we all do know and realize if something went wrong or something fucked up around that community, you're going to want black people to come running to your rescue and saying, yo, we got your back. So don't front like you're around those people and you got some kind of boss status and they accepting you wholeheartedly. They even got this guy who was like a preacher and shit. He was I think he was some kind of doctor, and he had a scenario where some white people had I think they stayed next door to him, and they ended up spraying his backyard during a party with their hose. And like, it's on YouTube. This is real shit. They sprayed up his backyard party with all his guests, and all his guests was black people, and the neighbor he had was white. And so it's almost like, well, why would you have a white neighbor that'll treat you like that? Because in his mind, just having a white neighbor was all he needed. But he didn't know who the fuck he was living next door to, though. And this is who he was living next door to. So let me see if I can find that damn story, because y'all might think I'm kidding about this. Let me see. Doctor party sprayed. Party, well, what happened? Doctor hose sprayed. I can be up there. It's YouTube. You know it's gonna be up there. Hose sprayed. Watch that shit. Yeah, man, what would I say? What the fuck I tell you? Oh boy, cause that shit real. It's like he didn't know this type of shit go on, and he just thinking he living next to some white people. This is 3 months ago. This ain't even as far as you thought. It is not even like a real news story. Okay, Pix 11. Here we go. Oh, it's still not. Oh, is it? I don't even know if Pix 11 news because I'm not from whatever town that's from. But let's go ahead and play it. I'm trying to see if y'all gonna watch this real quick. Woohoo! Share screen in this bitch. All right, let's go. So we're gonna rock this funky joint. It's right about here. You can see the doctor. Hey, look, he really trying to fit in. This the update, but we're gonna watch the actual video first. Mike, here it is. Pix 11. You can tell me if that's a real news station.
Listen, there's a good chance somebody's trying to hack your website right now. You gotta.
Now to a lawsuit between neighbors in Queens that will force a court to decide whether spraying water here was merely a dispute or a racist act. The case involves a black doctor plus his family and friends and the doctor's neighbor. Neighbor sprayed water over his fence on the guests at a party. Now is accused of treating them the way civil rights protesters were treated in the 60s. His attorney says it's not what it seems. James Ford is live in Forest Hills, Queens, with more on this one. James.
And how that one neighbor handled a noise dispute is the subject of this lawsuit. That water you see coming over the fence and onto guests at a dinner party is at the center of a dispute that party guests call racist.
We're calling the cops. We were afraid. We were afraid.
She's one of 19 people, almost all of whom are Black or Latino, who filed this lawsuit against the man who sprayed them from his home on the other side of the fence.
It harkens back to images during the Civil Rights era where civil rights protesters were hosed and menaced.
I tried to talk to their neighbor. He walked back, picked up a hose, and hosed me down while I was talking to him. That's what happened.
That was on the night a year ago when neighbor Marcus Rosebrook sent water through this hose into the party, including into a treehouse from which partygoers say they asked him to stop. This is the same woman who said she was hosed down at a news conference announcing the lawsuit.
I know he saw me, we made eye contact, and I tried to speak to him. And that is, every time I tried to speak, he sprayed me harder and harder.
A different neighbor called Jane Doe in the lawsuit allegedly walked into the home of the party uninvited with her dog to tell them to lower the volume. Another neighbor told us it's been loud a few times in the home where the party was, but at another nearby home.
Every year he would have a band on his porch, and I found out he was a cop. That's why I wouldn't deal with it.
Double standards are what the party's host says he's fighting.
Where it was me, a Black person, who had done the same act, that I would have been arrested.
Nobody was responding at Rosebrook's house, but his attorney said that the partygoers were threatening, he said in a statement, to compare plaintiffs' aggressive and violent actions at a house party with those of the peaceful protesters of the 1960s is a false equivalence and is disrespectful of the legacy of those who suffered indignities while fighting for civil rights. And Rosebrook's attorney said that he looks forward to presenting his client's evidence in court and not on television or other media. Reporting.
So that lets you see right before your eyes that these neighborhoods, look how beautiful it is back there in the blur. Look how beautiful it is back there in the blur. Look at the blur behind you, right? You got the well-carved motherfucking, whatever this shit, bushes. You got the nice cars, you feel me? Look at the street. Look how far the sidewalk is from the house, the front door. Not only do you got the grass and a sidewalk, you got a front little walk and it's upper. I mean, these are nice neighborhoods. And dude living in a comfortable environment where he thinking that, oh, I escaped that Black community. I don't live there. Look at this shit. Like, these people having a good environment. They ain't expecting problems. They, look at the homes. It's like a nice ass house. It's the house next door. But if you pay attention to what he was playing, listen to the music. And then look how loud it was. Listen to this. Look.
That water you see coming over the...
They wanging. They wanging.
Yes, at a party. Now is inside. Well, there's...
I'm trying to let
James
you
Ford is beating them. Neighbor. James.
Dispute and on to guests.
Afraid.
We
were afraid.
I want to
One neighbor
because the beat going is late night. You in the backyard in a white neighborhood. How the fuck you think you get to play your music?
Dispute that party guests call racist.
We're calling the cops. We were afraid.
They got sprayed with water because you thought you could play your music in a white community. Come on, y'all. Actually,
treehouse.
Y'all dumb Negroes. The idea is that if you get this kind of money, you got to go where Black people at, because Black people don't understand you playing music like this. Now you got to try to sue some white man. You go get your lawyer as if he can't find a lawyer. Come on, he's white. You're going to lose this case. Oh, you're going to lose this case because he has the right to spray you with water, which wasn't fecal matter, which it wasn't some pep juice or Pepsi. It was water. And then he sprayed it up in the sky, so he didn't spray y'all directly. The lady said he sprayed her directly, which is what? he say, she say. There was nobody to see that act happen. So now when you talk about we were this man, but what he really did and what the real objective was to shut down them damn parties. And you heard some white lady down the street say, "Oh, they used to have a band on their porch." Don't nobody even know if she telling the truth. What if she think he referring to another house, a different house? They added that to this news because Pix 11 News, wherever the hell that's from, was like, "Yo, make sure you interview somebody to confirm whoever Mr. Brooks was, because they gonna make sure that the white guy has the right leverage because this is their communities." And you see that this segment of news made sure, or even the people who sent them this video, they sent them a video with the music playing that loud, and it's black music playing that loud in these white ass neighborhoods. You can see it clearly right in the background. It's dark as hell. This is at night. And they playing their music loud as hell, kicking and chilling. Ain't really nothing wrong with it. It's just where you are doing it. And it don't matter where you work a job.
The way civil rights protesters were
neighbors thought that mattered. And so he a doctor, but now he got to deal with this white man saying he was an idiot for doing this. Now let's see what dude said. Till we cover what he said, doctor here. Let's go.
Hell of an update. We first brought you a story about dinner guests being hosed by a neighbor because of music. We have the video. Here it is.
I want to see if she did that.
He was the one that was expecting problems.
That's really That's crazy. I'm videotaping it. I'm videotaping the neighbor throwing water on everyone at Rose's party. I am videotaping the neighbor throwing water at us. I'm videotaping it.
Steve and Kevin just went in.
Look, that's crazy. We're calling the cops.
Such a damn shame. Put up the doctor, the victim, one of the victims. He's the guy who's the homeowner. He has guests over to his home. Yves Doroso and his guests were sprayed by water, a water hose, by a white neighbor during a party. Put up the picture. In the incident, which occurred September 17th, 2022, it is now the subject of a civil rights suit filed last week in Kings County, New York, against the neighbor, Marcus Rosebrock. Let me say it again. Marcus Rosebrock is his name. Mr. Rosebrock and an unnamed white woman accused of forcibly entering the doctor's home with a large menacing German Shepherd in an effort to silence the plaintiffs and end their celebration. So let me just remind everybody of the original story. The white female literally breaches the property, goes into the home with a dog, tells them to end the party. The good doctor says, listen, we're winding down actually, but man, would you go ahead and exit my home? I mean, this is a nice guy. Let's put up the picture of the doctor again. The New York City doctor. From every sentence I have heard about this man, he's a remarkable individual. So Dr. DeRosso and his wife were having a dinner party. They had about 15 guests when an unidentified white female showed up with a large German Shepherd, demanded the music be turned down in their backyard. All the guests were either Black or Latino, except one. At 9:50 p.m., when the party was winding down, the female defendant, known right now as Jane Doe, I hope somebody gets me that name, entered the DeRosso.
Let's scan it up so we can see what the hell.
Sir, I believe you racist as hell, sir. That is my opinion. Okay. What you did, that probably actually would have worked in the 60s, but it is a new day, sir. Jordan, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this insinuation that they were violent is ridiculous because we have the video. We see them looking around in disbelief. They're kind of laughing in like horror or shock. It was weird. It's a weird thing to do, but showing up at 9:50, like it wasn't even that late. Like, I get it if you're annoyed that music is, disrupting you. If it's like 3 a.m., this is 9:50. What are you doing? Like this, people have a right to hang out in their backyard, have a party, play music. It wasn't even that loud. And they knew what they were doing by bringing the dog over, by spraying with the hose. They wanted to intimidate. I follow the lead of the party goers who.
Well, that'll let you see it goes down, and those white motherfuckers got it. He gonna get away with that shit. So that's just to show you that what it is what it is. These guys think they can move in these communities and then just kind of disappear or blend in. And the rude awakening and a wake up call is always swift and right in their face. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of wake up call, let you see what it is. But anyway, let's get back to Katt. I want y'all to see some more Katt. Because Katt was going crazy on that interview, and I want to get back to it. Let me see if I see it up there. There we go. So we can get back to the Katt. He was showing them up.
Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
Wilding out. How difficult was it for Nick Cannon to get you on, and what was that experience like?
I've known Nick Cannon since he was a teenager. He had to have his. He in the comedy club, if you're underage, you can't be in a regular club. You had to be in the kitchen.
Right.
So I was the master of the kitchen every comedy place because I got a child, and my child is back here in this place while I go on stage.
Right.
So I've known Nick Cannon since he was 14. Nick Cannon has never called and asked me to do one single thing, and I turned him down because I've known him since he was a young black child in Hollywood. Wow. So what I did in Wildin' Out was to be his protector and to be his voice with hip hop. So the whole thing was the thing that he was trying to do had never been done before. You can't bring 6 comics in and let 6 comics talk shit about 6 rappers because the 6 rappers will beat the 6 comics' ass.
Right.
You would have to have a comic that could actually stand in between and go, look, we comics, we gonna say what we gonna say, y'all gonna take it and understand it's a joke. If you wanna fight, we fight before the show. So you can go out there with your black eye. We're not gonna do it comedically. This is what needed to take place in order for it to be successful, which is why it had already aired and didn't work. And then suddenly when it comes back with me, it suddenly works. Because respect has to be in there as well. If you're trying to do it with Kevin Hart, you and him gonna get run over. You a teenager, he 5'2". Like, what's gonna happen?
Who are some of your favorite young comedians?
Katt say he single-handedly kept well now on. I believe him. I didn't really watch it like that, but I believe him.
Everybody else. Wouldn't you grade them on a curve? Wouldn't you go, whew, this guy? Because, I mean, what are we reacting to? What are we reacting to? You're the one that put him in a position where he thought he was God and could call himself Jesus. And you're the one told a guy that writes musical lyrics that he was a genius. You're the one that's like, so what do you expect? The guy married a whore. Like, what?
Oh, Lord.
Like, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, married her because she was one. Not he didn't know. He understood that he wanted that. He courted that. That's what he wanted to base his family
she got
on.
a good heart, though. I know what you're going to say. Don't you say it, Katt. Don't you say it. I'm going to move the
If
conversation.
what I'm saying is not correct, then how does she end up with Pete Davidson?
I mean, it happens all the time.
And what if you weren't even good enough for Pete and he leaves you? What do that mean the product was? No, I don't support or villainize Kanye because I don't understand what it is we want from him. I don't know why we look at a basketball player and say, he didn't score no hockey goals this whole season. He don't play hockey. Kanye don't say nothing I can agree with. Okay. He was the weird guy in the beginning with the pink sweaters when we met him. Like, what do you think moving to a beat of your own drum? This dude started a church and kept cussing. Nobody in black church said nothing. You would have thought all the pastors would have came. You can't be no gospel artist. You just said, fuck that bitch. Nobody said nothing. Because TD Jakes over there with P. Diddy. Like,
come on, Katt.
Only the guy you had here has been upfront and honest and a man of God and humble and took the L's he had to take and didn't.
I did see it was trending though, but I ain't know. I ain't know why, Katt. I don't. Let me go to this question.
Man, this boy has just tore up so many people's careers and the thought of them now. It's almost like in 2024, they get a tainted thought because it's like, oh yeah, Katt Willaims mentioned you. Oh yeah, that he meant Katt mentioned that guy. Oh yeah, Kanye, Katt mentioned him. It's not even no more about what they do or did. It's like, hey, that's right, Katt liked you or Katt didn't like you. He almost set like a new standard. You know what I'm saying? Like either you was fucking with Katt or you wasn't. And for him to throw Chris Tucker, Kanye, I mean, you don't even hear people talking about those guys in the responses. But he didn't like these dudes. And a lot of people don't like them because if you look at Kanye, he's not liked by a lot of people. They disrespect the hell out of Kanye. And it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Back in the day, they were.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today.
You say you smoke a little weed. You ever smoke with Snoop?
Yeah. I'm actually a bigger smoker than Snoop. He'll tell you that. But I don't mix anything with my weed. I just do weed, right? So nobody has
that minimum. I mean,
nobody does 20 blunts a day like me for 30 years. Like I was the first person to have a weed roller, like somebody whose job it was. Like I haven't rolled a blunt in 20 years.
You probably
like if you go, I'm saying I prefer the saliva of ladies.
Oh my goodness.
No, understand what I'm saying. If for a blunt, it's necessary for it to get lit, right? And so if you had spent 20 years smoking with dudes, that's a lot of male saliva that you would have just accidentally ingested. I can't.
But if I done killed
I can't be this specimen on that. It takes.
I agree with that. That's why I roll my own shit, and I tell everybody else roll your own shit. We blazing. We don't need to be blazing the same fucking blunt. So, hey man, this nigga went crazy. I love this nigga, man. Hey, anybody got something to say about Katt, I'm gonna have to go ahead and defend him because these niggas is like he been doing it so crazy and just pushing at these haters and showing them that they didn't mean nothing, that all the shit they did didn't fucking amount to nothing. And I think that that's the critical part about it. I wanted y'all to see this other part too, as you see with the third one, it say underground tunnels found in Brooklyn. And it's almost like when you see this, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, this ain't true. This fucked my head up. I'm like a few days old and learning about this, but I want y'all to see the reality of the world that we live in, and just see for a second. So this looks like some kind of international channel too. So let's see what the fuck they got going.
A hidden tunnel was discovered under a synagogue right in the heart of Brooklyn. Hard to believe, right? Let's dig deeper into the story.
Directly to the tunnel.
Sorry, we're supposed to show an actual tunnel video. It all started when videos began circulating on social media, primarily on X, showing an altercation between Jewish Hasidic men and New York police following the discovery of a secret tunnel under the global headquarters of a Jewish movement named Chabad Lubavitch, commonly known as 770. The brawl began when the group's leaders dispatched cement trucks to seal the tunnel's opening, with no police presence inside. Proponents of the tunnel then turned violent and tore off wooden panels inside the synagogue. The police were only then called to the scene and arrested 9 people. The leaders refused to say when they found out about the tunnel, although word of their existence had been circulating around the community over the past few weeks, according to several worshippers. Those in favor of the tunnel said they were carrying out an expansion plan long envisioned by Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, a key figure in the movement. Some of the group's adherents believe that Schneerson, who died in 1994, is the Messiah and is still alive. Those who built the tunnel reportedly held this belief. They'd set out to carry out this expansion plan by connecting the synagogue to the whole empty space behind it, 21-year-old Zalmi Grossman said, adding that it was what the rabbi wants and what everybody wants. In February 2023, the founder of an initiative named Expand 770, Levi Jacobson, expressed the same desire and conviction.
The Rebbe urged that each and every Jew should participate physically and monetarily with Expanding 770.
Following the brawl with the police, Mari Seligson, a spokesperson for the group, condemned the construction of the tunnel, describing it as an act of vandalism committed by a group of misguided and extremist young men. Although social media is filled with theories linking the tunnel to child trafficking, exactly why they were built and what they were used for remains a mystery.
No, I don't think it's no damn mystery. I think that last part said it all. That's exactly what that shit was for. But let's see what my man Joe Rogan said.
Consider that New Year's resolutions are not the answer for you this year. You need real solutions. And
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I don't know exactly what's happening. All I know is very short clips that I found on the internet. But the funniest thing is this one guy on Twitter that was saying a while back, I live on a ground floor apartment and I hear Jews underneath me. And everybody's like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, that's anti-Semitic.
Exactly. And now he's like, I told you I wasn't crazy. But this guy's just...
But what are they doing? Like, I heard that they hired people to build like this tunnel and they were hanging out and like the people would live there for like 3 weeks. These like migrant workers were just digging this tunnel and they stayed there for 3 weeks. But what's the purpose of it?
I have no idea. I don't know anything. I just know that there's tunnels and that there's this one video of this guy coming out of the sewer. So he lifts a manhole cover, comes out of the sewer, and then he's fucking wandering around, this Hasidic Jewish guy. And everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing down there?
Yeah, that's really bizarre. They wouldn't come out, too. The cops had to get them out. Like, they were like, we don't want to come out. And they were like charged with disorderly conduct. I don't know. The whole fucking world is just weird.
What do you know about this, Jamie? Anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
The best I've gotten is that they started making them during COVID, but that it makes sense, but it also, you see the tunnels, you're like, no way, that's not.
Well, we could go on and on about why, how, when, but the major question is, if that was black dudes, if that was a black church, if that was Hebrew Israelite black dudes, if that was some black guys, maybe a gang perhaps, would there be such a lighthearted conversation about a tunnel being built behind some building or a church? I beg to say it would not be. It would be some fucking international conversations talking like who gave them the money, who gave them the drills. We want to lock y'all up. We trying to figure out your mother, your sister, who y'all some kind of cell. They'd be talking about it's a cell. They connected to some religious group. You know how America do. They'll be going upside down. And especially a tunnel when you see some of the footage of the tunnel, it's literally like really nasty down there. They would not be trying to stunt to muscle. Oh, what happened? What is the tunnel? Laughing. Man, that'd be like, boy, they messing with little kids down there. What is you talking about? And you know how they go. But now for these people,
Ready to be.
I wonder what they were doing. It's just so different. We just don't know what was happening. You know what the hell they doing.
Tunnel built under a famous synagogue in Brooklyn. A 60-foot tunnel was found right underneath the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Crown Heights. That tunnel was shut down. It was filled with cement. But before all that, a brawl broke out this week. People got arrested when police showed up to seal off the tunnel. As for why the tunnel was built in the first place, that is still being pieced together. News 4's Andrew Siff live on Eastern Parkway now, where there are safety concerns also for other buildings in that area, Andrew.
Right, Adam. Although we've learned in the last hour or so from the city buildings department that they have successfully shored up all but one address adjacent to this synagogue. One building, 304 Kingston Avenue around the corner, does still have a vacate order because of fire safety concerns. But as you indicated, the controversial tunnel that the buildings department discovered has been sealed and filled with cement. Start with a famous address, 770 Eastern Parkway, headquarters of the Orthodox Jewish Chabad Lubavitch organization.
This is understandably the most recognizable Jewish building in the world.
Now add in a famous religious leader, Rabbi Menachem Schneerson. He died in 1994, but remains such a powerful symbol that a group of students here seemed convinced the late Rebbe had commanded them to expand the basement synagogue, subject of a decades-long real estate dispute.
They actively knocked down the wall separating the synagogue with a nearby basement, and that's what got all over the news.
The result, a makeshift tunnel that you may have seen on social media this week. Let's go, yeah! It also got the attention of the city's Department of Buildings and led to several arrests for criminal mischief and reckless endangerment. The DOB found the passage 60 feet long by 8 feet wide by 5 feet tall, had no approval or permits, had inadequate shoring, which risked the stability of neighboring buildings, so vacate orders were issued. And cement trucks showed up over the past 24 hours to plug the passageway, preventing anyone from getting trapped down there.
All of the buildings that needed to be shored up are in the process of being shored up.
City Council member Crystal Hudson said local religious leaders acted responsibly.
The Chabad Lubavitch leadership and building management were actually the ones who called the police.
She and others also condemned online anti-Semitic hatred that spread quickly when images of the tunnel went viral.
It's completely a question of real estate and who controls the property. The word tunnel, because of what's going on in the Middle East, has been associated with large complexes that span entire cities.
I think oftentimes when you have a story like this that goes viral on social media and the internet, you get all sorts of tropes and stereotypes, and I think that's exactly what we saw.
That just show you that, they throw the black lady face in there because, they have way more white people that work in those positions, but they show you the black lady as if there's a person in the black side that understands, because this really bogus. Just to see that there's a tunnel being built anywhere in America. Look, if you have a shovel, you can go in your backyard right now and you can start shoveling a hole. Before the end of the week, some neighbor or some person driving past gonna see you. And the city gonna be over there like, what the fuck you doing? What are you drilling for? What are you trying to find? Oh no, I'm just drilling. I'm just digging a hole. And they say you can't do that. You don't own the ground. You own your property. So you can't dig a hole in this ground. If you keep doing it, we're gonna lock your ass up. And you'll be the person in jail, the hole digger. That's it. That's what that brother call your ass in the jail cell. Like, hey man, hole digger, what's up, man? You hungry? Let's go to lunch, because you're not gonna be able to do that. But this religious group, for where you already know what reasons they allow them to do something like that. And it's like, if black people couldn't, you can't even get 4 black people driving in a fucking car. Now you think you can get 35 of them to wear the same outfit and then go drill a hole in a building 60 feet? That's like that's damn near along with the fucking half a football field. You know what I'm saying? But the idea is that these other coaches get to do this kind of shit, and it's like crazy. And the fact that it's being busted out, they busting them out because the question is where y'all drilling to. This the question, regardless of who the hell you are doing it. The question is where you headed to. Like, what the fuck? Where you going? Like, even when you get there, what you going to get? What the hell you bringing back? So it's like it's really kind of really different. You know what I'm saying? To see how things like that can play out, and nobody can stop that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta let me know if y'all ever heard about this story. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you're not, you see it's real. This is New York where it is. It's happening in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. And you see how they connected it to some person that died in the past, to the new people. It's like, it's just really different. It's really different. It's like, you know the culture is very strong. They all wear this stuff. Hasidic Jews, you know they wear it. They religious people. So how they get to do something so criminal is beyond my understanding. So I don't get it. So I'm done. I'm gonna hit y'all up, and we're gonna be back on the next one in a minute. Thank y'all for watching.